The Tuskegee study, initiated in 1932 and spanning 4 decades, stands as a prominent example of medical racism and mistreatment in the United States. It is widely regarded as one of the most infamous instances of such abuse in American history. The U.S. Public Health Service, USPHS, and the Tuskegee Institute in Alabama conducted a profoundly unethical syphilis experiment where hundreds of economically disadvantaged African American men were exploited as test subjects without their informed consent. The men were lured to take part in the study through enticing offers of complimentary medical examinations, transportation, meals, and burial insurance. To truly comprehend the horrific nature of the Tuskegee Experiment, some cultural context, a lot of history, and an understanding of how many times government entities were given the opportunity to stop this human experimentation, but did not. The ratification of the 13th Amendment to the United States Constitution in 1865 formally ended the enslavement of Black Americans. However, by the early 20th century, the cultural and medical landscape of the United States had been constructed and drenched with racist beliefs. Social Darwinism based on the survival of the fittest was on the rise, as was scientific racism. Many white people already believed they were superior to blacks, and science and medicine were only too pleased to confirm this belief. Scientific racism was employed to defend the African slave trade prior to abolishing slavery. Scientists contended that because of their so-called physical strength and so-called simple intellect, African males were especially suited to slavery. In 1932, the USPHS and Tuskegee Institute initiated the, I quote, Tuskegee study of untreated syphilis in a Negro male, end quote, under the pretense of observing the symptoms of syphilis. This experiment focused on a sexually transmitted infection that has deemed incurable during that period. However, due to the influence of white supremacist ideology, it was wrongly believed that syphilis had distinct effects on dark-skinned bodies as opposed to white bodies. In Macomb County, Alabama, the study was conducted wherein 600 Black men aged 25 and above were enrolled as participants. Among them, 399 men were diagnosed with syphilis, while 201 did not have the infection. The researchers informed these men that they were receiving treatment for a condition known as bad blood, a term encompassing syphilis as well as other health problems such as anemia and fatigue. A portion of the men diagnosed with syphilis were administered treatments that were available during that period, such as arsenic and mercury, which varied in their effectiveness and could even be toxic. Furthermore, the remaining infected individuals in the study received no treatment whatsoever for syphilis. Untreated cases can lead to enduring organ damage, paralysis, blindness, severe mental illness, and even death. Despite the widespread availability of penicillin as a syphilis treatment starting in 1947, the men in the study were never provided with this option throughout the remaining 25 years of the research. Their race led them to being dehumanized and treated as inferior beings. They were used as mere research subjects akin to laboratory rats, with their sole purpose being to unveil the long-term consequences of this potentially fatal illness. During the 1960s, the unethical and inhuman nature of the study came to light when Peter Buxton, a whistleblower from the USPHS, exposed the wrongdoing. Despite Buxton's official complaints to the government, they were disregarded, and officials from the USPHS chose to persist with the study in order to gather additional data. It was not until 1972 when Buxton leaked documents to a reporter from the Associated Press and the Tuskegee study became public. In addition to exposing the corrupt nature of the study, the news report brought to light the appalling truth that the African American men participating in the study were unaware of the life-threatening risks involved, the absence of treatment they were receiving, and the potential transmission of syphilis to their sexual partners. To this day, healthcare providers frequently dismiss or overlook the experiences and pain of African American individuals, leading to significant and preventable disparities in health outcomes. This disregard, coupled with the historical dehumanization of African Americans, further exacerbates the existing inequalities in healthcare.